It was 2002. Bradley Cooper was 27 years old, and nobody knew his name yet. He was tall, charming, the kind of handsome that should have made things easy. But it didn't. Not yet. He had been auditioning for years, a part here, a line there. Most of the time, nothing. And on this particular night in a hotel ballroom somewhere in Los Angeles, he stood at the edge of a Hollywood after-party, holding a glass he did not need. He was drinking too much. He knew it. Everyone around him knew it. But nobody was saying it out loud yet. That conversation was still 2 years away. The room was loud, gold lighting, famous faces leaning into each other, laughing too hard at jokes nobody could remember in the morning. And Bradley Cooper pressed his back against the wall. He smiled when people looked at him. He made small talk when somebody approached. He nodded along. But underneath, he was somewhere else. He was tired. Not the kind of tired you fix with sleep. The other kind. The kind that lives behind your eyes when you can feel a life slipping away from you, and you can't quite tell if you're the one losing it or the one giving it away. He took another sip from the glass, and across the room, somebody noticed. Robin Williams was at the height of his fame. He had Oscars, he had legends. He had a face that the whole world recognized. He had everything. And on that night, Robin was working the room the way he always did. A handshake here, a joke there, a voice change, a laugh. But Robin had a strange habit at parties, a habit nobody wrote about much because it didn't make for good headlines. Robin Williams watched the edges, while everyone else watched the center of the room. Robin watched the corners. He watched the kid by the bar who hadn't spoken in 20 minutes. He watched the older actress sitting alone near the window. He watched the assistant pretending to check her phone so she wouldn't have to make eye contact with anyone. And on that night, Robin Williams watched a tall, dark-haired young man pressing his back against the wall, holding a glass he did not need. For a long moment, Robin just looked at him, and then he started walking across the room. Bradley Cooper saw him coming. You could not miss Robin Williams in a room. The energy moved with him. But Robin wasn't smiling now. He wasn't doing a voice. He wasn't reaching for a joke. He was just walking. When he reached Cooper, he stopped about 2 feet away, close enough to talk, far enough to give the younger man room to breathe. And then Robin said something that Bradley Cooper would remember for the rest of his life. He said, "You don't have to perform for me, kid. I'm not buying." Cooper laughed, a small, surprised laugh, the kind that comes out when somebody sees through you faster than you were ready for. Robin smiled, just a little. Not the famous smile, a quieter one. "How long have you been doing this?" Robin asked. Cooper thought he meant acting. He started to answer. He said something about classes, about auditions, about the small parts he had been getting. Robin shook his head. "No," he said. "How long have you been pretending you're fine?" The room kept moving around them. The music kept playing. The laughter kept bouncing off the walls. Somebody nearby was telling a story too loudly. But for Bradley Cooper, the room got very quiet. He didn't answer. He couldn't. And Robin Williams did not push. He just stood there, 2 feet away, looking at a young man he had never met before in his life, and seeing something in him that the young man could not yet see in himself. After a moment, Robin reached into the inside pocket of his jacket. He pulled out a small white card, a restaurant business card by the look of it. Something he had picked up earlier in the evening and forgotten about. He took a pen from another pocket. He turned the card over, and he wrote one sentence on the back. He didn't show it to Cooper. He didn't read it out loud. He just folded the card once and placed it gently into Cooper's hand. "Read it," Robin said. when you need it. Not now. Cooper opened his mouth to say something. Thank you. Anything. But Robin was already turning, already moving across the room towards someone else. An older woman near the window who looked like she had been crying. Robin reached her, put a hand on her shoulder, and made her laugh. Bradley Cooper stood there with a folded white card in his hand. He did not read it that night. He put it in his wallet and he kept it there. 2 years later, Bradley Cooper got sober. He was 29 years old. A friend had taken him aside and told him a hard truth he was not ready to hear. But this time, he listened. He stopped drinking. He stopped using. And in the years that followed, his life began to open. In 2009, a strange little comedy called The Hangover came out. And suddenly, the tall, dark-haired young man who used to press his back against the wall was on every magazine cover in America. In 2012, Silver Linings Playbook, an Oscar nomination, a career nobody had predicted. In 2014, American Sniper, another nomination, a second one, a third would come later. His life had become something he barely recognized, and through all of it, in the same wallet, in the same fold of leather, he carried a small white card. He never showed it to anyone. He never told the story. He just carried it. On August 11th, 2014, Bradley Cooper was at home when the news came. Robin Williams was gone. Cooper sat down. The way you sit down when something hits you that you didn't know was still soft inside you. He thought about a hotel ballroom 12 years earlier. He thought about a man who had crossed a crowded room to talk to a stranger pressed against the wall. And he thought about a folded white card that he had never actually read. He took out his wallet. He opened it. The card was still there. The paper had yellowed at the edges. The fold had become a permanent crease. He unfolded it, slowly. The way you unfold something you suddenly understand was a gift you didn't know you had been given. The ink had faded a little, but the words were still there. One sentence, written in a slightly slanted hand in blue ink on the back of a forgotten restaurant card. Don't waste the good years, pretending you're not in pain. Bradley Cooper sat with the card in his hand for a long time that night. He had carried it for 12 years. He had carried it through the worst years of his life, through the hospital visits with his father who was dying of cancer, through his lowest auditions, through the nights he almost didn't make it. He had carried it through the best years too, through the Oscar nominations, through the love, through the daughter he would one day have. He had carried it without knowing why. And now, finally, he understood. A man who had spent his entire life pretending he was not in pain had walked across a crowded room to find a younger man doing the same thing and to tell him not to do it. Robin Williams had given Bradley Cooper the warning he could not give himself. 4 years after Robin's death, Bradley Cooper made a film called A Star is Born. He directed it himself. He played a country singer named Jackson Maine, a man drowning in alcohol, drowning in fame, drowning in pain he could not name. People asked him, in interview after interview, where he had found that performance, how he had reached so deep. Cooper always answered the same way. He talked about research, about spending time with musicians, about working with Lady Gaga. He never mentioned the card. He never mentioned Robin Williams, but anyone who watched the film closely saw it. In the scenes where Jackson Maine sits alone in a dressing room or a parking lot or a quiet hotel room, there is something in Cooper's face that doesn't come from research. It is the look of a man who has known the edge, and it is the look of a man who has been pulled back from it by a stranger. In 2023, Bradley Cooper sat down with Bear Grylls in the wilderness of Wyoming. He spoke about his sobriety, 19 years by then. I was lucky, he said. I got sober at 29. I've been very lucky. He used that word twice. Lucky. He did not say blessed. He did not say strong. He did not say I worked hard. He said lucky. Because somewhere, in the back of his mind, was the memory of a hotel ballroom in 2002. A man in a black jacket, a folded card, a sentence written in blue ink. If Robin Williams had not crossed that room, if Robin had not noticed the young man pressed against the wall, if Robin had not chosen to write what he did on a forgotten restaurant card, Bradley Cooper might not have been sitting in Wyoming 21 years later. He might not have been a director, a father, a man at peace with himself. He might have been a different kind of story. Robin Williams could not save himself. That is the heartbreak of his life. That is the wound the world is still carrying. But before he left us, Robin spent his entire life saving other people. He saved Ethan Hawke's career on the set of Dead Poets Society. He saved Matt Damon and Ben Affleck by saying yes to a script nobody else would touch. He saved a child actor on the set of Jumanji by making him feel safe and respected. And on a forgotten night in 2002, in a hotel ballroom in Los Angeles, he saved a young man named Bradley Cooper. He did it the way he did everything, quietly, without an audience, without ever asking for credit. He walked across a crowded room, wrote one sentence on a piece of paper, and walked away. He did not know what would happen to that young man. He did not know if the card would be thrown away that same night. He did not know if anyone would ever read it. He just did the thing. He left a piece of light in the pocket of someone who needed it, somewhere in Bradley Cooper's home today, in a drawer or a small box, or maybe still in a wallet he no longer carries. There is a small white card. The paper is yellowed, the fold is permanent, the ink has faded, but the words are still there. Don't waste the good years, pretending you're not in pain. A man who could not take his own advice gave it to a stranger, and the stranger lived because of it. This was Robin Williams. This was the part of him the headlines never caught. This was the man we never knew. If this story moved you, please subscribe to the Robin Williams We Never Knew. Every week, another untold moment from a man who gave the world far more than it ever realized. Until then, be gentle with each other.